Mazuma TV back in the building, man. What's going on, y'all? Shout out to Mazuma Nation. Shout out to the Mazuma Mob. I'm back in the building, man. All right, y'all. Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's having a blessed, productive, positive day, man. Getting to it. You know what I mean? Thank God it's Friday, all that good stuff. What I wanted to talk about is Jermell Charlo. You know what I'm saying? Jermell Charlo and his upcoming fight against Canelo Alvarez. And the question that a lot of people have been asking me, especially on the live and just being in my DMs on Instagram and all that, if Jermell Charlo comes out victorious against Canelo the end of September, will he be considered the best fighter in the world? Will he be considered pound for pound number one? And let's really think about this. You know what I'm saying? Because Jermell Charlo has been at 154 for well over a decade. Beat everybody that's been in front of him. Even despite his loss against Tony Harrison, he ran it back and was able to avenge that win by knockout. And the first fight was controversial in reality. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people even thought Jermell won the first fight. Similar to Lennox Lewis when he fought Evander Holyfield the first time and they scored it a draw when everybody knew Lennox won, so they ran it back and Lennox defeated Evander Holyfield. Similar situation, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, Charlo has been on top of his game and been proving guys wrong throughout his entire time at 154 pounds. You know what I mean? Became undisputed against Brian Castano. Beat everybody he needed to beat to get all the belts. Jason Rosario, John Jackson, I believe he got the WBC title from, and then Brian Castano. And he's had hella title defenses. He's been doing what he needed to do, and he's been making statements. You know what I mean? Notably Erickson Lubin, Charles Hatley, even Castano, the way he ended Castano, because a lot of people thought Castano won the first fight. Then he shut down the naysayers with the stoppage win. So Jermell has been doing his thing. You know what I mean? That's without question. I honestly believe he's at his prime right now. I think he's at the peak of his game. I feel like I've been saying on my lives. His mental has been matching his physical. You know what I mean? His confidence is at an all-time high. Everything's clicking on all cylinders. And he truly believes in himself. His momentum is at an all-time high. His confidence is at an all-time high. So I feel like he's in the best spot from a physical and mental standpoint to take on an established top fighter in Saul Canelo Alvarez. You know what I'm saying? It's like he got everything lined up. It's just he has to pull the trigger, but it is an uphill battle in a sense. You know what I'm saying? We understand that Jermell's bigger. We understand that he's taller than Canelo. However, he is not fully acclimated to the 168-pound weight division like Saul Canelo Alvarez. Saul has been at 168 for a long time. He understands the power that his opponents have up there. He's experienced in that weight class. He carries the weight well. Canelo doesn't have much body fat to lose when he goes to 168. So that lets you know he walks around pretty heavy. He's a big dense dude. Like he's a, you know what I mean? He's a big dude. You know what I'm saying? Although he's short, he's a very big dude. You know what I mean? And he carries the weight well, and his punch resistance have shown to be elite at that division. Some questions that we have for Jermell Charlo is whether his punch resistance that he has at 154 isn't going to translate over to 168, because he's going to get hit by Saul. You know what I mean? He's not like the slickest, most defensive fighter. There's going to be situations where he may get hit with a good body shot. He might get hit with a good hook. He might get hit with an uppercut. You know what I mean? He's been hit by guys on the tier of a Tony Harrison and Brian Castano, so it's not far-fetched that he'll get hit by Canelo. But the question is, how is he going to be able to take them shots? You know what I mean? Another question. Obviously, to fight somebody like Saul, it's best not to stand in front of him and become a sitting duck. You know what I mean? And just sit there flat-footed in front of him. He's going to have to go back to the old Jermell that fought Vanez Martirosyan, the Ronnie Shields Jermell Charlo. You know what I'm saying? The outboxer. You know what I mean? Good legs, good jab, good 1-2. Just overall great boxing ability. He's going to have to pull that out. How are his legs going to be able to take on that extra weight, that extra 14 pounds? You know what I mean? And then another question. How is he going to come into the weigh-in? Is he going to come in light? Is he going to come in the low 60s, maybe mid 60s? against Saul so he can have some type of agility, or is he gonna really pack on the pounds, put some muscle on, so he might have a chance, so he could build up some type of punch resistance, or he'll be able to absorb punishment better against Canelo? How exactly is he gonna go about this? These are a lot of questions, and because these questions aren't answered, it seems as if it's an uphill battle, man. There's a lot of things that Jermell has to take on in this fight against Saul. You know what I'm saying? But in all honesty, I think he's fully capable of being Canelo, just due to the fact that Canelo is on the decline. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely on the decline. He's 32, but he's an older 32. In all honesty, I've said this over and over again. I'm not trying to be too repetitive, you know what I mean? Especially the guys who've been checking me out consistently. But the fact still remains, you know what I'm saying? He's an older 32, a lot of wear and tear on his body. And like Floyd said, in boxing, you could become old overnight. You know what I mean? And because he hasn't looked impressive in his latest fights against John Ryder and the Gennady Golovkin trilogy, I think that he'll definitely have some difficulties with a young, sharp, hungry Jermell Charlo, who feels like he has something to prove. You know what I'm saying? So I'm rooting for Jermell Charlo all the way. And in all honesty, if he beats Canelo, he's definitely going to be in the top 3 pound for pound, possibly number 1. Because you got to understand, like, Naoya Inoue, he doesn't have the deepest resume, but he moved up in weight and beat the top dog at 122. So that's impressive, right, in his first fight. Terrence Crawford, he's been at welterweight for a long time, so he didn't necessarily have to move up in weight. He was fully acclimated and dominated Earl Spence, right? So that's impressive, and he became 2-time undisputed champion of the world. Now Jermell, if Jermell is moving up 2 weight divisions and beating a top dog, not in just his weight class, but in the world, Canelo is rated on the pound-for-pound list and many people's list. Not on mine specifically, but he's on a lot of people's pound-for-pound list. A lot of people rate him highly. He's a top-tier fighter. If he moves up 2 weight classes and beats somebody on the level of Saul Canelo Alvarez while simultaneously becoming a 2-time undisputed world champion, I'm gonna rate him number 1 pound for pound in the world, man. I'm going to. That's extremely impressive. He's defying more odds than the other guys who was on the list, and he's tying Terrence Crawford's record and Clarissa Shields' record. So, in all honesty, I wouldn't mind rating him pound for pound number 1 if he defeats Saul. You know what I mean? And especially if he goes down to Terrence Crawford and finds a way to beat him, that will be otherworldly. You know what I'm saying? That's just like top tier business. That's God level. That's all-time great type of things. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my opinion in all honesty. Jermell does have an uphill battle, but it's possible. You know what I'm saying? And I believe in Jermell's talent. I believe in his work ethic. I believe in his abilities overall as a fighter. And I'm pulling from the defeat Saul Canelo Alvarez later in September. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Is Jermell Charlo going to be rated pound for pound number 1 if he defeats Saul Canelo Alvarez? You're not going to rate him. What's y'all predictions going into this fight? Do you believe it's an uphill battle, or do you think it's going to be easier than what the people and myself believe? Let me know in the comments below. This is Mazuma TV back at y'all with another video. Shout out to Mazuma Nation and the Mazuma Mob. I'm checking out. Peace.